Hello, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring all of you the long-awaited Assassination Classroom chapter review. Now, it's been about 2 weeks since I have done an Assassination Classroom review. The reason for this is because the last chapter, chapter 160, it was a Valentine's Day chapter, and to be honest with you, there wasn't really much to cover besides like 1 or 2 things, and it really wasn't long enough to warrant a video. I didn't just want to make a 2-minute video on 2 points. You get my point there. So, the point I'm getting at is that I was waiting for this chapter to come out before I decided to review Assassination Classroom, because, like I said, lack of content. So anyways, this chapter of Assassination Classroom, to get straight to the point, I want to talk about the first one first, 160, and then I'll get into 161. So the first chapter, it's Valentine's Day. It kind of concludes the Valentine's Day theme we had for the past couple chapters, and you get to see it to where Bitch Sensei, she gets her own romance or Valentine's Day segment in that chapter, which is very sweet. Just because I didn't review it, like, as soon as it came out, doesn't mean it's a bad chapter. It was a really fucking good chapter. It just, like I said, there wasn't much. Like, all I had to say is like, Bitch Sensei, that romance progression stuff, but let's get into it. So, Bitch Sensei, she gets her romance development. She finally gets to move in with the guy she's been crushing on since the damn beginning. Oh, I know so many right now that have read Assassination Classroom for a very long time are probably excited and jumping for joy when they saw those panels at the end of last chapter. I know for a fact there probably is, because that made me giddy. I'm like, yes, this romance progression, because that's something you don't see unless we're near the end of a series, and I think that's what this entire Valentine's Day was trying to imply to us. I feel like the mangaka, the reason why we're getting these romance chapters that's progressing the romance, I feel it's because the mangaka is starting to wrap up the series. I mentioned this many times before, and I think we all know we are entering the final stages of the series, because Koro-sensei, he announces that he won't teach again after that year that he's teaching now. He will leave, probably travel the world, he doesn't really know, but he won't teach again. But also how whatever happens in this upcoming arc, if, Koro-sensei dies or doesn't die, there really won't be anything left to tell, because the entire point of the series is assassinating Koro-sensei, or saving Koro-sensei. And then once that's done, there's nothing left to tell. I mean, they could do a little bit of an epilogue, like an afterword, but there's not much they could really go with. So, we know the series is getting closer and closer to its conclusion. I predict the series ending at the maximum time it has left. I would predict about maybe a year and a half, 2 years at max, if it does have that long, which I still doubt it has that long. But we know we're getting close, and seeing these romance developments going on, it makes me feel like the mangaka is just wrapping it up. Now, going into the next chapter, we know Koro-sensei's leaving. He says he won't be sticking around. And with the latest chapters, we know Nagisa has a new goal. His new goal is to become a teacher, because he was inspired by Koro-sensei. At first, he thought he was going to be an assassin, but after thinking about it, he might become a teacher. And it makes a lot of sense if you start thinking about this, because if Koro-sensei is going to be leaving, maybe Nagisa, eventually down the road, he might take the spot of Koro-sensei. Like, he might take that spot of Class E and help them out. I feel like that's what this is trying to imply, that Nagisa will pay back the debts that he owes to Koro-sensei by teaching in his place. Which would be really cool. It'd be a great way to end Assassination Classroom if that's where the mangaka is trying to take it. But getting off that, though, we got introduced to our newest villain, our secondary villain, or main villain of this upcoming arc, or final arc of the series, to assassinate Koro-sensei. This dude is pretty damn scary. He has this aura coming off of him that just, it reeks of malice. Because the main point of the latest chapter was Karma to learn that sometimes he needs to bow his head. He can't always go in guns blazing with an evil face on, with his fist up, or gun, whatever he wants to use, knife, gun, whatever assassination tool, or if he doesn't want to, or just he wants to go in and scare the fuck out of people, whatever he wants to use. The point stands is sometimes in society, or in combat, you need to know there is times where you need to back off. I mean, sometimes you need to just bow your head and say, I am sorry, or please forgive me, or have mercy. Whatever words you want to attach to that. Sometimes you need to know to just back off. And that is what lesson Karma learnt in this chapter. If it wasn't for his quick thinking and to be able to analyze the entire situation with these thugs that were attacking Class E in this chapter, it could have ended badly. We could have had to where some of our characters could have died. Because this dude that's been recently introduced and is pretty damn strong from what we can already tell, he says he could have killed the entire E class in under 20 seconds. And we saw the bloodbath around him, like the mental image. So if that would have happened, just imagine how pissed off Coral Sensei would have been. That's just, oh god, beyond belief. But that goes to show you how confident this dude is in his skills. So there's many things from this chapter that's setting up for the end game. I love the chapter, some really good quality content, artwork looks really nice, and I'm liking where it's going. So yeah, the chapter, great character progression for Karma. I'm kind of sad to see that Coral Sensei, no matter what happens, if he lives or not, he will move on. I wonder exactly what Coral Sensei would do, actually. Very curious about that. Maybe he might move on to college or something. But tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.